What's up everybody, it's your boy MachoorTV. Today I've got a very important video, how to improve your anti-airs, your Shoryukens, your DPs, whatever you want to call them. This is a video for you. It's highly requested. A lot of people have been complaining about this. They try to DP, try to anti-air, they get a medium punch, a super, they get something else, anything but a DP. So today I'm here to help you, and I'm going to show you the best way to input a DP, what is the best input to do it, when to expect it, and how to improve your entire Fireball DP game. Alright, so without further ado, let's go to the training mode. So why do you actually want to improve your DP game? So as a Ryu main, or as any character, any main of a character that has a DP, it is a very crucial tool in your toolkit to actually DP. DP anti-airs are amazing in this game because they do a lot of damage, and on top of that you can input a super after the DP, so you can get a lot of damage, not just from the DP. So it's always like, if you have level 3, it should be a fear in your opponent to jump in. 3600 damage it's a lot of damage. All right, it's a lot of damage, and you should be able to execute this consistently. So whenever you have level 3, okay, or not even without level 3, people should be afraid of jumping you. All right, people should be on the ground playing the neutral game with you, trying to make mistakes so then you can punish them and start your offense from there. Even if somebody jumps on you, you can just DP and then drive rush and start your pressure. Okay, so in this game you are highly rewarded for actually DPing, whether it's front or whether it's cross-ups. All right, also in this game a lot of people are jumping a lot, because here fireballs are actually like reactable. People try to always jump the fireball, they try to always get a full combo from a jump in to get like that maximum damage, to get that corner carry. So it's highly rewarded to get a successful jump in. All right, another place where you can expect a jump in is in the corner. A lot of people in the corner, they try to jump out of the corner because they're afraid of drive impact. They're afraid of the grabs, the throw loops. So they're really afraid of this, so they try to just jump out of the corner. It's actually a valid strategy to just jump out of the corner, because you can just like sacrifice like what, 1400 points of damage, but you're out of the corner right now. So you eliminate the risk of you dying in the corner. So getting a successful jump out of the corner is actually not a bad strategy. It's actually good. So you have to be ready to anti-air. Maybe in the corner, instead of doing a DP, you can do a combo like this, an air-to-air combo, instead of having them escape the corner. Yes, you can still damage them, but they are going to escape the corner. You don't want that, right? So maybe in the corner you don't want to DP, maybe you want to do an air-to-air combo, but that's up to you. Doing a DP is not bad in the corner. In this case, it is something still good. Another place where you can expect a jump in is in neutral. As I said, when you're throwing fireballs, all right, you wanna get them to jump, you wanna bait them to jump, because even if you're very good at inputting a DP, you have amazing reactions, but you give them no reason to jump, they are not going to. All right, you can be incredible at DPing, you can be incredible at anti-airing, but you're not making the opponent jump. So you're basically like wasting the chance of getting damage and starting your offense from the DP. So what I mean by this, if you're just all the time all of your neutral game is just walking around, just waiting for the jump, they know that you're waiting for the jump. They know that you're waiting for the jump, especially at high levels. If you're not throwing any fireballs, you're just doing this, you're just walking around, they know that you're waiting for the jump in. So what you have to do, you have to throw some fireballs. That's why you have fireballs. You have fireballs so then you can bait the opponent to jump. You want to throw the fireballs and then recover in time, so then you can anti-air with a jump in. So the fireballs that you want to do from this range, maybe do the heavy one. From the closer that you get, you want to use the light one, for example, because it recovers faster. So if you're here in this range and you're gonna throw a fireball, so I suggest that you do an EX fireball, because the fastest fireballs that actually recover, the fastest recovery of fireballs are the EX ones. It's either the fastest one is the EX dungeon, then after that comes the EX fireball, then after that comes the normal dungeon, then after that comes the light Hadouken, the medium Hadouken, and the heavy Hadouken, in that order. You know, the faster the recovery is. So if you're closer to the opponent, of course you want to throw a fireball that actually recovers faster than the other versions, so that you can recover in time and anti-air them if they try to jump. So it's very important that you give them a reason to jump. Alright, give them a reason to jump. I'm not saying that you throw fireballs all the time. No, maybe one fireball or two fireballs are enough to tell the opponent that you are willing to throw some fireballs. That alone is enough for them to jump in. Alright, to jump in and try to, like, you know, get a punish on your next fireball, or maybe do some fake fireballs like this. Like the light Shoryuken is a very good bait for fireballs, because it recovers much faster than even the dungeon Hadouken. So how do you actually execute a Shoryuken after a DP? So as you know, the input for the DP is the front, down front, and front, then punch, like this. Alright, down front, front, down front, and front. Alright, so you have to do this and then you get a DP. And the input for a fireball is down, down front, and front, then punch. So if you just think about it for a moment, the end of the fireball input is front, which is also the beginning of the DP input. Okay, the DP input starts with front, right? So when you're doing this one, you can immediately just do two other inputs, like down front and then front again, then punch, and you get a DP, instead of starting the input all over again. You can just hold front and then do the remaining part of the input of the DP and get a successful DP. So that's how you throw a fireball, and then immediately you just, you know, cancel it into a DP like that. You don't have to, like, go to neutral and then do a DP again. So that can actually help you in recovering in time after throwing a fireball. If you see somebody is jumping, you can immediately just, you know, input a DP. And it's a very good practice to input a DP immediately after a jump in, after you throw a fireball, because if you think about it, if you block the jump in, that means you had time to input a DP, but you missed the chance to get the damage of the DP, the anti-air, and you missed the chance to punish the opponent. So if you're able to block afterwards, then you should have not blocked after throwing a fireball. You should not have blocked if somebody jumps in. You should have inputted a DP and punished them. So it's always good practice. If you throw a fireball, you see somebody is jumping, you always input a DP, because if you recover in time, you get a successful anti-air. If you don't recover in time, either ways, my friend, you are getting punish countered. Okay, so better just input a DP instead of, like, being afraid of the jump. Oh no, I'm not gonna recover in time, but then whoops, I did recover in time and you blocked. So instead of blocking, you could have actually DP'd. So if you throw a fireball and you see somebody just jump in it, immediately input a DP. It is better. If you get hit, you got hit, you could not have blocked anyways. You get the point, right? So always input a DP after you throw a fireball and you see somebody is jumping. Maybe you want to always keep it as a practice and input it and buffer like a DP after a fireball like this, because ideally you don't want to be spamming fireballs. You don't want to be, like, you know, doing this all the time. It's highly risky, especially now that you have, you know, DI, you have, you know, multiple you know, there's a chance of them just jumping in them or something like that, or EX fireball into drive rush if you're playing can. So there are, you know, reasons why you don't want to just spam fireballs like this. But we're talking about fireballs a lot because it's very important to utilize or improve your fireball game, to actually utilize the DP, to actually anti-air someone. It is very important. You have to bait them to jump, so then they can jump and then you can execute a successful DP and get a punish counter and then start your offense from there. So now I'm just gonna explain to you the best way to input a DP. A lot of people, they struggle in this, especially when you're in neutral, when you're walking back and forth like this. You know, you try to input a DP and you don't get a DP, you get a medium punch, or you get a crouching medium punch, or you get a super, you know, or you get a you know, something else, anything. Sometimes even if somebody crosses you up, sometimes you even get an overhead. All right, so you know, you get multiple stuff, anything but a DP. So one of my friends, one of my viewers, Action Jack Ryu, he's one of the top Ryu players right now in rank. Shout out to him. He gave me this input, and ever since I started using it, you know, it helped me a lot in consistency, in being able to input a DP cleanly and, you know, as I said, consistently all the time. Every time somebody jumps on me, I will input the same exact input and I will always get a DP. I would not get a punch, I would not get a super, I would not get anything else. All right, so what is the input? The input is down front, down back, down front, punch. All right, so you see this? It is always going to be a DP. It is never going to be anything else if you input it correctly. You should always hit the down back. You should always hit the down front. Never end your DP. What I've learned from this game is that you should never end your DP, at least in this game. Never end your DP with front. Always end your DP with down front. It is something that is so crucial. So crucial. Sometimes when I end my input with front, I get a super. Sometimes when I end my input with front, I get a Hadouken. Okay, but if I end my input with down front, I will always get a DP as long as I hit down back and then down forward. All right, so it is so important to actually input this correctly. If you're doing it from crouching, you will do it like this. You'll do down back, down front, down back, and then down front like this. So for example, I'm blocking, right? I'm being defensive over here, so I'll just do this and then I get a DP. You see that? Of course, you have to be very quick with it, otherwise it will be a punch. All right, so it is so important to use this. The other thing is that it is recommended that you start using light DPs instead of doing like medium DPs or doing heavy DPs. There are reasons why you would want to use the heavy DP or you want to use the medium DP. It's more damage. Yes, it is more damage if the opponent is jumping from like long ranges. If somebody's jumping from here and they press a button, you know, like for example from here or something, like from here for example. All right, let's say from here. All right, from here. All right, like normally, like if somebody jumps from this area right there, all right, maybe you want to use the heavy one, so then you can reach out to them and you can punish them with the heavy DP because it travels further. It travels, you know, horizontally more than the light DP. All right, so however, the light DP is 5 frames startup, the medium DP is 6 frames startup, the heavy DP is 7 frames startup. So that's why it's recommended right now to use the light one. It is the fastest one, even faster than the EX one, the 6 frames. Why do you use the light DP unlike in previous games or previous, you know, instances like in Street Fighter 5? Because in Street Fighter 5, light DP was not physical attacks invincible. It was actually only grab invincible. All right, medium was the physical invincible one. All right, so if somebody jumps on you, they're doing something like this, you want to always use the medium one in Street Fighter 5. Heavy one used to be fireball invincible. All right, this one was grab invincible, this one was physical invincible, this one was fireball invincible. So if Akuma is jumping on you and he's doing like air fireball, you would use the heavy one. But over here in Street Fighter 6, all of them are physical invincible. All of them are physical invincible. So why would you use the medium or heavy, the slower versions, okay, when you can use the faster one, okay, to get a more consistent DP? So a lot of people right now, they're using medium DP to anti-air, and it's a very good practice to do right now. So another point on how to maximize your chances of actually landing a successful DP is that you want to increase the travel time when somebody is jumping on you. What I mean by this is that look at this. For example, right now, if my opponent is standing, I can just jump and then press heavy punch very early. I'm not traveling much in the air. I'm not spending a lot of time in the air before I actually manage to hit him, right? But now look at this. If he's crouching, I have to spend maybe a second more to you know, press the heavy punch. If I do it early like before, it will whiff. You get that point? So what this means is that you, as someone who's crouching, you as someone who's defending, you're trying to anti-air the DP, you're trying to anti-air the jumping attack, you want to have the most time possible to react to the jump and the most time possible to, you know, input the DP. So if you're crouching over here, you'll get more time to input the DP, you'll get more time to react to it. So ideally you want to practice, you know, DPing from this stance, from being blocking. All right, whether you want to block forward, you're not gonna block forward, or you want to like crouch forward like this, you're not gonna be blocking. But if you want to be blocking and crouching at the same time, you're gonna have to start like this. So the input for the DP will be back, down, down, back, and it will be down front, down back, and then down front. If you're doing it like this, this is the ideal way of doing a DP, because it will give you more time to react to the DP and successfully, you know, land a DP. So if for example I'm doing this, I'll just do this. You see that it's so clean. You get a DP all the time if you input it this exact same way. As I said before, remember to always end the input with down front. Do not end the input with front. They do not end the input with front. Always end it with down front, and you will always get a DP. Make sure that you hit, you know, down back, not back, not only back. You can do down and then do back and then skip down back. You should not be doing this. You should be doing down front, down back, and down front. All right. So ideally, you want to be crouching while you're doing this, so then you can get more time to react to the DP, to react to the jumping, to react to the jumping punch or the jumping kick or whatever that they're doing in the air. So that is exactly what you want to be doing. So now that we have talked about the front DP, like when somebody is jumping you from the front, you know, now let's talk about the cross ups, the cross cut DPs. Okay, people always use half circle back. When they do this, they do half circle back and then punch, and then they get a DP. The problem is that it is inconsistent. Sometimes you do this and you get a super, you get a level 1 instead of a DP, or you get a punch or something. So just exactly how we said, you know, that you always have to end the input with down front, it is exact same thing with cross cuts. You have to end the input with down back. Do not end the input with back. If you end the input with back like this, you will always get a what is it called, a super, all right, or you get something else other than a DP. But if you do this, if you do it this way, like look at this, front, and down back, but not back, all right, you will get a DP. It is recommended that you always start the input for a cross cut with front, because it will give you a chance to actually like walk forward a little bit, okay, and get you in that right spacing for the cross cut DP. All right, but you can do it from down front and down back. You can do it like this. You can just do it like this, and then you get a DP. So for example, if I set the dummy over here to do a jump in like this, all right, you can see that it's so simple. If the opponent just jumps at me from this range, I can just do this very clean input, and I would get a DP, a crosscut DP, very easily. It is just down front, down back, and then you get a DP if you press punch on the right time. So you have to like make sure that you press the punch once the opponent actually crosses you up, once the opponent actually crosses your head. So if for example, let me just bring the cursor over here. So if you press DP and the opponent, if the opponent is here, if you press the punch over here, you're not get a DP. If you press the punch while the opponent is here, so he has to cross your head. All right, so he has to be in this area. If he's in this area, you press punch and you've done the input at the right time, then you will get a DP. All right, so it's very important to understand whether you are gonna get crossed up or you're gonna be landing front. This is actually something that, you know, if you rely on visual cues in this game, sometimes it looks like the opponent is gonna cross you up, but the game actually requires you to input a front TP. So it is so important to realize whether the opponent is gonna land front or land back, and accordingly you input the right input to either DP front or DP back. All right, so you have to do the input, or you have to do the punch after the opponent crosses your character's head. All right, so that's very, very important. So as I said, it is actually recommended that you always, have your character walk forward. If you're trying to cross the TP, have the opponent walk forward, have your character walk forward. That will actually be ideal. It will actually help you input a crosscut TP much more easier. So if you see that if the opponent is just walking, is just jumping, and you're gonna get crossed, just walk forward and then do this. Just do this input. All right, walking forward will increase your chances of actually getting a successful cross-up DP. If you want to practice, and you should practice, no matter which level you are in, no matter whether you are a bronze level, no matter whether you are a master level or whatever, you have to keep this in your daily practices. Once you start the game, once you start your gaming session, always set the dummy to jump in and do medium punch or medium kick, sorry. So then you can practice the DPs. You want to practice the DPs, do this for 5 minutes every single time before you start playing any kind of ranked matches or whatever, and you will definitely see a big improvement, big improvement in your DP consistency and your anti-air consistency. If you feel that you have a fear of DPs, and you feel like you are not going to input it in time, or you're afraid of missing the input and getting hit in the process, this is the practice for you. You're not gonna practice mid-game, you're gonna practice in practice mode. All right, so you have to practice. Only then you'll get actually very good at DPing. I'm speaking from experience, because in Street Fighter 5 I started as a complete noob, not even knowing how to throw a DP or a fireball or anything. So I got better, with time. I was doing parries in Street Fighter 5. With time I was doing crouching heavy punch, all right, but it was not ideal. You always want to do the DP. As I said, over here you get DP into super, you get DP into Oki, so it is very ideal that you want to do the DP. And if you do the DP consistently, people will respect you more. You'll have the respect of your peers. If you DP consistently, you'll have your opponents are gonna fear you. All right, so doing this practice, it is very, very, very important to do this practice all the time. Make sure that you do this practice all the time, to get it right. If you get a punch, if you get a super or something, start over, keep doing it. Make sure that you do the input cleanly, focus on doing the input cleanly, so then you can you can get it consistently in a match. You don't want to make mistakes in a match. If you feel, just another tip, if you feel like you're always getting something wrong while you're walking back and forth like this in neutral mid match, make sure that you go to neutral just for like a split of a second. If you feel like you're always making mistakes, you're getting something like different, just ensure that you go to neutral before you do the DP input. All right, or if you just crouch and just do this as we have mentioned, or if you're walking back and forth, just go to neutral for a second. Just don't press any direction for just split of a second before you input a DP. All right, so then you can get the input as cleanly as possible. That will also help you improve your DP consistency if you are able to focus on getting the input as clean as possible. So as I said, guys, just do this practice for like 5 minutes every single time you start the session, and you'll immediately see a lot of improvement in your DP game. I have done this from practice, and it definitely helped me. Even if I stop this for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I start seeing that my DP consistency starts to drop. So you have to like keep doing this every single session. Only then you will start improving in doing TPs and doing Shoryukens and doing anti-airs with Ryu or with Ken or any other character that has DPs. or even, you know, guile or something, you know, you're still gonna have to input the flash kick, right? So this works for all the characters. Even if you don't have a DP, you wanna, you know, do down heavy punch or something, you know, as a Marissa player or whatever, right? You can do that. If you feel like, you know, you're not gonna input the DP in time or something, you're afraid, doing perfect parries in this game are not, you know, are not a bad strategy. Okay, if you wanna, like, you know, rely on perfect parry or something, if you feel like you're not inputting DP in time, you can just perfect parry. You know, it is not recommended because the timing is little. You have 2-frame gap. You have a 2-frame gap of inputting getting a perfect parry. Okay, and it can be baited. Somebody can just jump in and grab you, and you get punished heavily. So not heavily, but like 20% of your health is still a lot, and you lose drive meter. So it is always ideal to just get the TP instead of trying to go for a perfect parry. I'm speaking from experience. Even in Street Fighter 5, I used to do parries all the time. You know, people would just empty jump and then punish me. So I had to like up my game. I had to like start doing TPs consistently. Alright, so I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, please leave a like, comment down below if you found this helpful. If you have any other questions or anything else that you want to see a video about, anything that you're struggling with in the game, I'm here to help you guys and here to give you some, you know, helpful tutorials. With that said, I will see you guys next time. Take care. Have a good day.